You think you know the wild. You've seen the documentaries, the photos, the majestic landscapes of Africa, golden plains, ancient rivers, and sunsets painted in fire. But beneath that beauty, beneath the illusion of calm, something far more sinister waits. Hidden in the tall grass, lurking in the murky waters, watching and calculating. This isn't the Africa of postcards or travel brochures. This is the real one, a land ruled by instinct, hunger, and death. Here, survival is not a right. It's a privilege, and those who let their guard down, even for a heartbeat, are erased from existence without a sound. You're about to enter a world where the hunter becomes the hunted, where one wrong move means your final breath. Every shadow hides a predator. Every rustle could be your last warning, because in Africa, death doesn't always roar. Sometimes it waits in silence. You've heard of lions, crocodiles, snakes, but the truth is darker than you imagine. The deadliest creatures here aren't just the ones you expect. Some kill with brute force, others with poison, and some with patience so terrifying it feels almost human. Each one is a masterpiece of nature's most lethal design, efficient, silent, and merciless. You see, in this land, killing isn't cruelty. It's balance. Every creature is both victim and executioner, and even the most powerful can fall prey to something smaller, faster, or smarter. There are no heroes here, only survivors. Imagine yourself standing in the heart of the savannah at dusk. The air is thick with heat. The wind carries a scent, faint, metallic, like rust. In the distance, something moves. You can't see it, but you feel it watching. The sun bleeds into the horizon, and the darkness begins to whisper. Out here, once night falls, every sound, every breath could be your last. And yet, there's something mesmerizing about it. The danger, the tension, the beauty of life and death intertwined in eternal rhythm. It's not chaos, it's order. A brutal, ancient order that has existed since time began. You'll soon meet the 7 executioners of this kingdom. Creatures that kill without hesitation, without remorse. Some of them stalk silently through the night, eyes glinting like embers. Others strike from beneath the water, unseen until it's already too late. And a few, they kill not because they must, but because that's simply what they are. With every heartbeat, you'll descend deeper into this shadowed world. You'll feel the tension rise, the dread grow, as each predator reveals its true nature. But remember this, out here, curiosity isn't just dangerous, it's fatal. So, take a breath, look around, listen closely to the sounds of Africa's darkness, the cries, the rustles, the silence between them, because in that silence, death is always waiting. Tonight, you're not a viewer, you're prey, and by the time the last name on this list is revealed, you'll understand why Africa isn't just home to the most extraordinary creatures on Earth. It's also home to the most deadly. Prepare yourself. This is the top 7 deadliest animals of Africa, and once you see what hides in the shadows, you'll never look at the wild the same way again. 7, the African elephant. You see it from afar, massive, majestic, almost mythical. The African elephant, the largest land animal on Earth, moves across the savannah like a living monument of time. Its every step carries the weight of centuries. Its every breath a whisper of nature's ancient power. The ground trembles beneath its colossal feet, and for a moment, you believe you're witnessing something divine. But behind those calm, wise eyes lies something else, something far more dangerous. Because when the peace breaks, when the balance is disturbed, the elephant doesn't forgive. It remembers. You've heard stories, whispers of villages trampled in the night, of farmers crushed while trying to protect their crops. It begins with a warning rumble, deep and resonant, vibrating through your bones like thunder rolling underground. Then comes a charge, sudden, explosive, unstoppable. 6 tons of rage, capable of flattening trees, overturning trucks, and silencing every living thing in its path. It doesn't hesitate. It doesn't roar. It simply destroys. You might think this violence is blind, but it isn't. In parts of Kenya and Tanzania, elephants have been known to seek revenge after one of their own was killed, tearing down fences, smashing homes, even targeting humans. Scientists have seen it happen, and locals swear by it. The elephant never forgets. When you stare into its eyes, you see something disturbingly familiar. Grief, anger, awareness. It's not just an animal reacting. It's something that understands loss and retribution. Imagine being there. The air thick with dust and silence. Your heart pounding as a shadow rises over you. You can't outrun it. You can't hide. The sound grows like a storm tearing through the earth. And then, in a single, shattering instant, nature reminds you of its power. The world blurs and everything fades into thunder and dust. Out here, in the kingdom of giants, mercy doesn't exist. The elephant rules not with claws or fangs, but with the sheer inevitability of force. It kills not because it must, but because sometimes it decides to. 6. The Cape Buffalo. The plains are silent, and for a heartbeat, you feel safe. Then you notice it, a dark shape moving to the tall grass, massive, implacable. The Cape Buffalo watches you with eyes as black as night, unblinking, calculating. Its horns curl like crescent blades, weapons designed by nature for only one purpose: to kill. You think it grazes mindlessly, but the truth is far more terrifying. Every step it takes is deliberate. Every muscle coil for the moment it decides you are a threat. Locals call it the Black Death, and it earns that name with chilling consistency. Wounded or cornered, it doesn't run. It doesn't hesitate. It charges. And when it does, it moves faster than you think possible for something so immense, a wall of muscle and rage that can gore a grown man, overturn vehicles, or crush anything that crosses its path. You hear it before you see it, a low rumble growing into a deafening roar of hooves pounding the earth, a sound that resonates deep in your chest, vibrating your bones with primal fear. This isn't mindless aggression, it's calculated, purposeful, terrifying. Survivors of buffalo attacks tell stories of the animal circling back, relentless and patient, until it has completed its silent judgment. More hunters die from buffalo than from lions, because this creature doesn't stalk to feed. It defends, punishes, and destroys without mercy. Every glance from those dark eyes feels like a threat, every twitch of muscle a promise. The moment you slip, the moment you underestimate it, it will strike. Imagine standing in Savannah, dust swirling in the wind, your heart hammering in your chest. You sense the buffalo before you see it, the grass bending, the shadows stretching, the earth trembling beneath its weight, and then it moves. In an instant, everything becomes motion and fury, a force you cannot counter, a predator that exists to remind you that survival is never guaranteed. In Africa, power is silent, relentless, and often disguised in the unassuming shape of a buffalo. And when it decides to kill, nothing in the world can stop it. 5. The Hippopotamus. You see calm water, smooth and reflective under the burning African sun, and you think it is safe. You see that rounded, almost comical shape floating lazily near the riverbank, and you think harmless. That is the illusion. The hippopotamus, seemingly slow and gentle, is one of Africa's deadliest killers. Beneath the tranquil surface, it moves with terrifying stealth. It glides through the water like a phantom, silent, unseen, a living force of destruction lying in wait. Its sheer size, up to 3,500 kilograms, combined with its lightning-quick reflexes, makes it an unstoppable predator in its domain. You may imagine that such violence comes from hunger, but hippos are herbivores. They kill for dominance, for territory, for instinct, for survival. When provoked, or when a boat, human, or animal encroaches on its watery kingdom, the attack is sudden, brutal, and merciless. Its mouth opens impossibly wide, displaying tusks long enough to pierce and crush bone. Vessels are overturned in an instant. Humans are torn apart with a force that leaves no time for screams. The water, once serene, churns red with blood, a stark reminder that beneath calm surfaces, death waits. In parts of the Zambezi and Nile rivers, hippos kill hundreds each year. Locals speak of the rivers with fear, recounting stories of entire boats vanishing, their occupants never seen again. And it's not just the adults. Calves provoke parents into defensive fury, sending anyone nearby into a desperate scramble for safety. You feel the terror not just in the roar of the charge, but in the silence that comes before it. The stillness of the water, the pause in the air, the eerie calm that masks imminent violence. Stand too close, move too fast, or misread a shadow, and the hippo becomes a perfect executioner, a force of nature designed to kill with precision, speed, and terrifying power. Its dominance reminds you that the deadliest predators are not always hunters. Sometimes they are silent, patient, and underestimated. Africa's rivers are its throne, and every intruder must remember, the calmest surface hides the deepest danger. For the Nile crocodile, you think the river is safe. You see calm water, shimmering under the harsh African sun, and you imagine life continues peacefully beneath its surface. But you are wrong. The Nile crocodile, silent and ancient, has ruled these waters for millions of years, perfecting the art of death. Its body, armored in scales that glint like blackened steel, moves with impossible patience. It doesn't chase, it doesn't give warning. It waits, and when it strikes, the world becomes chaos in an instant. You feel its presence before you see it, a subtle ripple, a shadow barely moving. Then, in a flash, it erupts from the water, jaws snapping shut with force strong enough to crush bone, steel, and hope. There is no escape. Its ambush is surgical, precise, terrifyingly efficient. Humans, cattle, even large animals vanish in moments, dragged beneath the surface into murky depths, leaving only a silence that screams. Every year, hundreds of people fall victim to this predator, its name whispered with fear along the Nile and across Africa's lakes and rivers. Its patience is what makes it deadly. The crocodile can remain almost motionless for hours, blending seamlessly with its environment, waiting for the perfect opportunity. When it moves with speed and strength that seems impossible for its bulk. And it doesn't just kill, it drags, it drowns, it dominates its prey until there is nothing left. Even the strongest swimmer has no chance. Even the cleverest hunter can be fooled by its patience. Standing at the riverbank, you notice the surface glimmering deceptively in the sunlight, and you feel a chill crawl down your spine. Every ripple is a threat, every shadow a predator. This is not a world of heroes or champions. It is a world ruled by cold, calculated instinct. And here, in these waters, the Nile crocodile is king, the embodiment of patience, power, and merciless execution. One misstep, one careless moment, and you too can become part of its silent legacy. 3. The lion. You hear before you see it, a low, resonant growl that vibrates through the ground, rattling your bones. The lion, Africa's iconic predator, moves through the savannah like a shadow of death, both majestic and terrifying. Its mane ripples in the wind as it surveys its domain, every muscle coiled, every sense alert. You might admire its beauty from afar, the elegance of its stride, the golden power of its gaze, but up close, admiration turns to fear. The lion is an apex predator, a ruler of the plains, and it does not hesitate. It hunts with precision, strategy, and patience honed by centuries. Stalked by its golden eyes, prey has no chance. Even the slightest noise can trigger an ambush. The hunt is silent at first. The lion crouches in the grass, muscles trembling with controlled power, ears attuned to every rustle. Then comes the charge, sudden and explosive. Speed, strength, and lethal claws converge in moments that feel eternal. Humans are not typical prey, but when they wander into its territory, they quickly become prey nonetheless. Lions kill dozens every year, their attacks swift, efficient, and final. But the lion's danger isn't only in the hunt. It is territorial, unpredictable, and bold. Rival lions, humans, elephants. None are ignored if they threaten its pride or dominance. It kills not just to feed, but to assert control, to remind the world who rules these lands. Each roar is a warning, each glance a judgment. In the savannah, life is fragile, and the lion exists to maintain the balance of fear, power, and survival. Standing in the grass as the sun dips below the horizon, you feel the tension in the air. Every shadow could conceal teeth, every sound could herald death. You are reminded that a lion is more than a predator. It is a force of nature, regal yet ruthless, a living embodiment of the wild's brutal law. Survive, dominate, or perish. And in the presence of a lion, you understand that in Africa, even the king is feared. But you, the intruder, are merely prey. 2. The black mamba. You hear the whisper before you see it, a soft, almost invisible rustle among the dry leaves. The black mamba glides silently, a shadow on the edge of perception, faster than your eyes can track, more lethal than any predator you have seen so far. Its sleek, dark body is almost unreal, a sinuous phantom coiled in patience. You may think the snake is harmless from afar, even elegant, but up close, you realize that elegance masks something far more terrifying. Death in its purest, most efficient form. The black mamba doesn't hunt for sport. It strikes with blinding speed, injecting venom that can kill a human within minutes. One bite and the body begins a slow, merciless surrender, paralysis creeping through muscles, organs shutting down, breath fading as panic sets in. There is no struggle the mamba cannot win. Even the strongest, bravest victim is left helpless, consumed by the sheer precision of its design. In Africa, hundreds die each year from this snake alone, a number that could be far higher without access to antivenom. Its danger lies not only in its venom, but in its intelligence and awareness. The black mamba doesn't attack without reason. It watches, it assesses, it strikes with calculated timing. And when cornered, it is not afraid to defend itself multiple times, biting again and again, each strike deliberate, each falling a perfect instrument of fatality. You feel the fear not in the snake's motion, but in its stillness, the patience, the confidence, the certainty that it will not fail. Standing in its territory, you realize how small and fragile you are. The black mamba doesn't roar, it doesn't chase. It simply exists, and that existence is enough to kill. One misstep, one careless glance, and you become part of its silent ledger of death. It is a reminder that in Africa, the deadliest threats are not always the largest or loudest. Sometimes they are the quietest, the fastest, the most patient, and the black mamba embodies all that perfectly, lethally, and without remorse. One, the mosquito. You laugh at it at first, don't you? The tiny insect buzzing lazily around your skin, seemingly harmless, almost comical. But in that faint, irritating hum lies a hidden terror, the deadliest predator on the African continent. The mosquito is small, almost invisible, yet it carries the weight of centuries of death, a perfect assassin armed with nothing but a needle-like proboscis and a poison of unimaginable subtlety. Unlike the massive elephants, fierce lions, or stealthy crocodiles, the mosquito doesn't hunt with claws, teeth, or brute force. It kills with science, with precision, with silence. Each bite carries a gift wrapped in death. Malaria, yellow fever, dengue, and other diseases that strike without warning. The victims feel nothing at first, a tiny sting, a harmless itch. But hours, days, or weeks later, life begins to slip away. The fever rises, the body weakens, and the lungs and organs betray their host. Hundreds of thousands perish in Africa every year, more than any other animal combined, all at the mercy of a creature too small for the naked eye to track, too quiet to anticipate. And yet, the mosquito is more than just a killer. It is a reminder of nature's terrifying ingenuity. While lions roar and crocodiles snap, the mosquito silently controls life and death, a shadowy ruler of the invisible world. Entire communities live in fear of its presence, their fates dictated by the timing of a single bite. You may be strong, fast, clever. It does not matter. In the mosquito's kingdom, size and power mean nothing. Subtlety and persistence reign supreme. Standing in the heat of Savannah, swatting at the tiny winged demon, you feel a sudden realization. True danger is not always loud, fast, or visible. Sometimes it is quiet, almost imperceptible and unstoppable. The mosquito doesn't chase. It doesn't roar. It waits, it strikes, and it kills. And that is why, despite being the smallest of all predators, it is the deadliest, a tiny, perfect instrument of death that dominates life itself. And now, did you ever imagine that the tiniest creature could be the deadliest of all? The truth is, the world still hides shadows you cannot yet see, and this was only one of them. In the next episode, we will delve into even darker mysteries, secrets so disturbing they may forever change the way you perceive nature and perhaps even life itself.